contract with that, it's going to be very important. The curtain comes down on a homestand, a 10-game homestand here for the Astros today, and they do it on Princess Day as well. It's always a special day at your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by here, everything's better. Here's some of the storylines and things to keep an eye on as we watch this one today, the finale of the 4-game series, finale of the 10-game homestand for the Astros. They look to get their 7th win of the homestand. They're around to be on the mound, looking to bounce back from that tough start against the Rays 11 days ago. He was very good against the A's on this homestand, as he usually is. We'll see a Major League debut, Jacob Melton, in the lineup today for the Astros. Melton in that 8-hole, playing center field on this day in which we celebrate Lou Gehrig Day, bring awareness for research to find a cure to ALS. Before we get out of here, send it to TK Plummer and Julian. A look at our Toyota keys to the game. Bogey, what do you got? It's going to be really important for Hunter Brown to win on the first pitch of at-bats. First pitch strikes are always important. You want to get ahead, but against a very aggressive Rays team who's going to be trying to hunt pitches early on in the count. Quality of first pitch. If he can use that sinker, not only will he get ahead of the count, but he also might be able to get himself some quick outs and keep his pitch count down. Secondly, make these Rays climb an uphill battle. It seems like the Astros have been constantly trying to stay in the game, fight back into these games. You get out there, score first, put a couple runs on Bradley early, 3 or 4 run deficit with Hunter Brown on the hill. That's a tough matchup for these Rays. All right, Astros wrapping up the homestand on Princess Day as well here at the ballpark. Time Callis, Jump Lump, Julia Morales, they got the call of the game. It's the Astros and Tampa Bay Rays wrapping up their season.
Gosh, we've gone to Sea Dogs games since we were kids.
I've been coming to see the Sea Dogs for the last 30 years. Great experience.
Everybody here is just bends over backwards to help people out. Wish the world was like it is right here at the ballpark. You've always wanted to be more than just a baseball team. You want to be strong, active, contributing members of the community. And I think that ability is seen by the people and the fans, and they want to support that effort.
base hit. On that pitch this season, the win percentage at 32.5 is brilliant as well. But the run value at 14, most pitches you'll see around 5, 6, 7. He gets double down with that four-seam fastball. Astros are the best team in the American League, coming off of a loss, and Hunter Brown's a big reason why. He comes in throwing doors on teams after a loss. He understands his role in this rotation is proper. There are stoppers in the rotation for the Astros. They need guys to step up.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It is Geaux Stros, and it is go time almost. Almost. Go all the way to the moon. Let's go all the way to the mid-zone. Hunter Brown on the mound today, looking to even up this series after an embarrassing Game 1 and Game 3 loss. I slept through yesterday's game. I accidentally set my alarm for about 8 in the morning. And I got up in what I thought was plenty of time to do the supposed 9 o'clock stream. I thought, man, I can make some snacks for breakfast. I can make some coffee. I can have a nice relaxing morning, enjoy the sun, go outside for a few minutes, and then do the live stream. But as soon as I looked at my phone, I started seeing notifications from all the podcasts that I follow talking about the humiliating loss. And I thought, what? That's old news. Because I was thinking about Game 1. And then I saw that the game had started at 5 a.m., and had just ended shortly before I got up. My bad. But the good thing is, if you're going to miss a game, that's a good one to miss, that's for sure. Astros Houston says, Konnichiwa, konbanwa, sayonara. Okay. Good afternoon, or hello, good evening, and goodbye. I'm a fan. Astros Houston, Romanian. Let's go, Astros Houston. Yes, that's right. I got myself some coffee. This is my hot water. This little handy thing, it keeps the water hot for a very long time, so I completely filled it up just now. I don't have to reheat water when I want another cup of coffee, because this is enough to give me maybe at least 2 full cups, if not 2.5 or even 3. But we'll see. All right, the first cup is on the way. Just like the first pitch of this game, it'll be coming. I did respond, but I'd like to say personally thank you for checking in. And also, by the way, I looked at the live chat from yesterday's game that I missed. And I really appreciate you acting kind of like a moderator there and letting everybody know everything was all good and, giving some information about the game. I really do appreciate that. You didn't have to do that, and it was kind of you to do all of those things. So, arigatou gozaimasu. Let's see here. It's Lou Gehrig Day in the MLB, apparently. Let's take a quick look at the Astros lineup before they get started. Let's see who's in the game today. Of course, the Astros are at home, so they will be in the field first. Pena at shortstop leading off, followed by Isaac Paredes at third base, and Jose Altuve in left field today. Christian Walker is batting cleanup at first base. Yainer Diaz is catching, batting fifth. Victor Caratini is the DH, batting sixth. Cam Smith is batting seventh in right field. Jacob Melton is in center field. Really? If I'm not mistaken, that's who it is. Yes, I'm right. Jacob Melton is in center field. It looks like he hasn't even had the opportunity to hit the ball yet. He's batting 0. Pretty interesting decision for the Astros today. Myers is out, and batting ninth is Dubon. Pretty interesting stuff right there. Pretty interesting stuff. Interested to see what Melton will do today, if anything. But Hunter Brown is on the mound today, so if he has his typical day like Fromber did, Fromber Valdez gave us a really solid game, and boy, did we need it. Talk about barely squeaking out a win. This series, the Rays have just beat up the Astros at home. The only reason that we had a chance in Game 2 is because of Fromber's awesome pitching. Otherwise, the Astros wouldn't have even pulled that one out. They barely managed enough. But this whole series, Astros hitting has been absolutely atrocious. However, it hasn't been the norm for them at home. They've been doing really well at home. Not this series. For some reason, the relief pitching, my goodness gracious. We didn't even need relief pitching for Game 2 because Fromber stayed in there for 9 full innings. We are so lucky that the Rays didn't get to the Astros bullpen in Game 2. I'm telling you, they called it Fromber Day the other day, but it looks like it's Fromber Week because no other pitcher has been getting it done. I wouldn't say that Colton Gordon had a bad game yesterday. It wasn't great. But man, the relievers have been getting slaughtered. Absolutely slaughtered, have they not? Astros Houston says, I'm prepared for me coffee and milkshake. Coffee and milkshake? Really? Milkshake and coffee. That's an interesting combination. Sometimes I like to get some soft serve ice cream and scoop it into my coffee. That's nice. But yes, Sergio, konnichiwa to you too. And 5 minutes to game time, absolutely. It's game time right now. Let's take a look. Let me pull it up. They're still talking about Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig Day. One of the original, most famous and awesome baseball players, not just from New York, but in baseball as a whole. Good old Lou Gehrig. Got myself some zero sugar cookies. Real small. This is the only other one that I will have this morning. Josh Lowe is going to lead things off today for the Rays. The stinky Rays. The Smurfin' Rays. He would step to the plate as soon as I put my cookie in my mouth. My cookie. Cookie. Hunter Brown's ready to go. He's on the rubber. Kicking the dirt around. Sunday afternoon in the U.S. 3:11 a.m. on Monday in Japan. Here comes the first pitch of the game. All right, lower outside corner, 97 miles an hour. Strike one. Good call, ump. That was in that lower outside corner. All right, here comes the next toss from Hunter Brown. Diaz behind the plate catches that one a little high. Another 97 mile per hour fastball. Evens the count, 1-1. The Rays wearing Smurf blue today. Do you see that? The Rays are wearing Smurf blue. Smurfin' Rays. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Another 97 mile per hour fastball. 3 straight 97 million mile per hour ultra fast screaming hot heat volcano balls from Hunter Brown. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the toss. Oh, that was close. 98 miles an hour, swing and a foul tip, but it bounces off of Diaz's glove. Ross says, I'm going to miss Jordan. Hey, Bit Dog. Hey, bro. Hey to you, too. Here comes the next toss. Swing and a miss. He does get the strikeout there. 86 mile per hour. Knuckle curve. He mixes him up. You go sit down with your Smurf shirt wearing self. One away. Take a look at that right quick. Whiff. This is not golf, my friend. Go back home and rethink baseball. It's got to suck when you're getting 97 and 98 mile per hour fastballs, and then you get a knuckle curve like that. That's got to suck. Next batter is Brandon Lau. From low to low, 97 up and out. Ball one. You know what? I'm tired of the Astros staff. I don't want to call them liars, but constantly covering stuff up, covering up injuries. 96 outside, 2 balls and no strikes to Lau. Every single podcaster, no kidding, every single Astros podcaster I follow on YouTube, they've been saying the same thing since last year. That pitch is also outside, 88 mile per hour changeup, so 3 straight balls from Hunter Brown, 3-0 with 1 out. Brandon Lau at the plate. And there's a shot of Fromber in the dugout, but there's the next pitch. That one's in there. 95 mile an hour sinker. 3-1. Let's see what Sergio has to say. The Astros have been consistently inconsistent. Absolutely. They lost so bad yesterday that we're almost guaranteed to win today. I sure hope so. Swing and a miss. That was a nice knuckle curve. Full count. Brandon Lau with my given name. I just realized that Lou Gehrig's number is my number. My favorite number, rather. Number 4. In Asia, most of Asia, 4 is not a good number. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. All right. A high outside fastball would have been ball 4, but he Smurfin strikes him out. 2 strikeouts for Hunter Brown so far. In several Asian countries, the number 4 is not considered a lucky number. But it's funny because it doesn't have anything to do with like the number itself. It's just the pronunciation. The pronunciation, like in China and Japan, is very similar to the word for death. Here's the first pitch to Yandy Diaz. Yandy. Who names their kid Yandy? Outside for ball 1. Yandy is 1 for 10 versus Hunter Brown in his career. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. He taps that one to left side. Perez grabs it on the hop, fires it over, gets the out. 3 up and 3 down with 2 strikeouts for Mr. Hunter Brown. He's going to stroll to the dugout with a rather decent start to this game. Not too rough, around a dozen pitchers or so. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, around a dozen pitches. I'm being too lazy to look it up. It disappeared on the screen before I could see it, but it's all good in the neighborhood. We go to the bottom of the first. Astros at home at Daikin Park. 0-0. No hits, no runs. How about the Astros have a really big first inning? That would be nice. Wouldn't it be nice to see the Astros just score like 5, 6, 7, 8 runs in the first inning and just set the tone for the rest of the game? Then we could cruise from there. That'd be nice. One can dream. Also, we deserve some payback. That's the only way that we can really redeem this series. If we win this game by just a run or 2, it won't redeem the series. Even if we win the game 5-3, or If we get 7 runs, 8 runs, but they get like 5, it's still not going to be enough for me. I think the Astros need to give up no more than 1 run, 1 or 2 runs, and they need to get at least 7 or 8 to make this series more respectable, because the relievers have just gotten destroyed. They've gotten destroyed. Taj Bradley is on the mound. He's going to be facing the Flash, Jeremy Pena, in just a moment. Isaac Paredes on deck, followed by Jose Altuve. Faj. Why did I say Faj? Taj Bradley is 4 for 4 this season with a 4.38 ERA. Here's the first pitch. Hey, there! What do you know? Right through the hole on the left side. Pena is going for 2. He's easily going to be able to get in there. How about that? Went right through the glove. Caminero. I believe that's Caminero over there. Let's take another look at that as it bounces through. 96-mile-per-hour fastball right in the strike zone. Yeah, he just missed it. He tried to backhand it, and it got through. That's going to be an error, I'm sure. All right, the very first pitch of the game. We're going to have our 8 runs this inning. He socked the ball. Paredes comes to the plate. Here comes the first pitch. All right, that's hit pretty hard to left field. Oh, but high. Oh, man, look at that. The left fielder and the shortstop didn't communicate there. Almost caused a little scuffle or a little kerfuffle. Good communication, Smurf. That brings up my hero. The crowd cheers as Jose Altuve is announced. Runner on second. The Flash. Come on, let's bring him around. They do give an error to the third baseman, by the way. Taj brings the first pitch to Altuve. He goes up to the left side, but the third baseman actually gets it this time. Makes a decent throw over to first base, almost a little low there. First baseman's got to stretch for it. Out number 2. First pitch hit again by Altuve, just like Pena, just like Paredes. Can you believe that? First 3 batters all swung and hit the first pitch. Christian Walker at the plate. Let's see if he swings in the first pitch. Here comes the pitch. He does, and he hits it to left field. It's going to drop. Pena is around third. Yes, he's going to score. No problem. The throw comes home, but not only is it way off the mark, it's way too late. You can't get the Flash, baby. 1-0 Stros. Christian Walker. The Astros, 4 swings in the first 4 pitches of the game and 2 hits. That ball was just perfectly placed. Absolutely. Astros commentator says the Astros are in swing mode. That's right. 4 pitches, 4 swings, 2 hits. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate with a runner on first. Here comes the pitch. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, he line drives it right up the middle. 5 pitches, 5 swings, 2 hits. All the Astros are swinging. I'm loving it. Even though they're out, even though we're out of the inning, I like what I see. Just swing. Swing. Taj has put it in the zone. Can you believe that? In the first inning, the Astros swing the bat. 5 batters, 5 pitches, 5 swings. 1-0 Astros. If they do that every inning, I'm okay with it. We wound up with 9 runs at the end of the game. And how many hits? 18. Well, one of those was an error. Granted, they did give an error to the third baseman for the first hit for Pena. But still, that would be at least 9 hits, maybe between 9 and 18 hits if we did that every inning. How wonderful would that be? What a wonderful world it would be. Yes, I changed the lyrics. KF says Rays look tired. Guess that was from all the hitting they did last night. Yeah, they're all sore from that batting practice yesterday and a couple of days before. Maybe that's why they couldn't hit Fromber in game 2. All that swinging, they couldn't get it done in game 2. And then they get all that swinging yesterday, so we're going to have a repeat today. That's not actually a bad theory when you think about it. Already got 10 likes on the live stream. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. That's groovy. Absolutely groovy. Groovy. 1-0 Stros. Going into the top of the second. Hunter Brown back on the mound. He's got himself a 1-0 lead. That's something to build on. That is something to build on, my friend. All right, he's going to be facing Jonathan Aranda. Here's the first pitch. High and outside. Ball 1. 96 mile per hour fastball. When it pops up on the screen, it's so tiny it's hard to read. Knuckle curve, low and inside, fouled off for strike 1. Five swings and 5 hits in the first inning. 1 error, 1 actual hit. Ground out, a couple of flyouts. That's crazy. This ball is hit out to center field pretty deep. Looks like Melton is underneath it, and he puts it away. Out number 1. Aranda goes down with the fly ball. Junior Caminero comes to the plate. He made the error at third to start off the Astros 1-run first. There he is right there. There's the error Smurf. We got Papa Smurf, Grumpy Smurf, and that's error Smurf. Here comes the first pitch to Caminero. A little low. 96 miles an hour. Ball 1. Howdy, Jordan. Geaux Stros indeed. Walker looking good today. Yeah, nice swing. Nice hit. The only legit hit for the Astros so far, right? Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Caminero. He goes after that one high and inside, but fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Update the score. It is updated. It's just not showing. Let me refresh it. There it is. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice it was having an issue. Here comes the next pitch. Fouled off again. Another 97 mile per hour fastball. 2 strikes. 1-2. Thanks for letting me know about the scoreboard. Sometimes I have to refresh the browser because it doesn't automatically update like it's supposed to. Here comes the 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Knuckle curve missing its location by a substantial margin. Two balls, 2 strikes. All right. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Caminero hits that one straight to Paredes, who easily picks it up and lobs it over to first base. His throw was way off, but Walker makes a good catch and tag. Excellent play there on behalf of Walker. Did you guys see that? That's a little mini Gold Glove moment there. So Paredes gets the easy ground ball, makes a terrible throw. But look at this. Bloop. No problem for Walker. Pro right there. Jake Mangum at the plate. Takes that just a few inches off the plate. 98 miles an hour. Strike. Nope. Ball 1. My bad. It didn't make it. Didn't make that edge. 1-0. Next pitch on the way. That's in there. Another 98-mile-an-hour fastball right in the middle of the plate. Evens the count 1-1. Mark, welcome back. Good to see you here. I had to wash my Astros shirt. I put it in the dirty laundry. I don't have it on today. Instead, I have my Air Jordan. Air Jordan, maybe? Not right now, huh? All right. 1-1 pitch, 97. Fastball on the outside edge. Strike two. 1-2. So 98, 98, 97. The pitch selection to Mangum. So what is he going to go with here? The knuckle curve? Let's see. Here comes the pitch. No. Tries to throw him more heat, but he misses a couple inches off the edge of the plate. 2-2. Kind of surprised there. Maybe he's trying to trick him. Think he was going to throw the knuckle curve. If he'd got that outside edge, that would have been strike three. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. He does throw the knuckle curve there, and he goes. They're calling it a strikeout, but Magnum says he fouled it off. Or they're calling it a strikeout. Mangum's arguing that he hit the ball, that he foul-tipped it. Yeah, he didn't touch it. What a terrible pitch. He was still arguing about it. What a baby. I hit that, but umpire hit that. It bounced off of my bat. No, it didn't. We watched the replay. He clearly missed it by a mile. You're going to have to do better than that, man, if you want to play in the big leagues, Mr. What's your name? Mr. New Guy. Mr. Mangum. Mr. Mangum. Bottom of the second coming up, the Astros leading 1-0. Woohoo. Let's see here. Hunter Brown has 26 pitches. That's not bad. 13 per inning so far. 16 of those pitches strikes. He has 3 strikeouts so far in this game. Victor Caratini, the DH today. He is coming up to bat in just a moment. "13 likes on the live stream. Awesome. If you haven't liked already, please do so. I'd appreciate it. Let's get to 20. Jack this up. Get it to 20. Get it to 30. Get it to 40. If we get to 50 today, I might just have to have a party. 40 would be really, really great. 30, it would be good, really good. First pitch to Caratini is up and out. The very first time an Astro has not swung at the first pitch today. In the first inning, all of them swung at the first pitch. Here's the first pitch that is swung at by Caratini. High in the zone. Just a little above the zone, actually. 1-1. He misses it. One and one. It's sad that it's Lou Gehrig Day, and they are talking about his disease. They're focused so heavily on his disease. Tapped over to first base, and he tosses it to the pitcher for out number 1 to retire Caratini. I would rather them talk about his legacy, Lou Gehrig's legacy, and the kind of person he was, rather than just talking about the disease. Let's focus on the positive side of his career and his life. Cam Smith is at the plate. Here comes the first pitch. Ooh, that was not called a strike. In the upper outside corner, but ball 1. Here comes the next pitch. 1-0. That one's in there. Low and inside. 92 mile per hour fastball. Count is even. Nothing personal, but I'm not a fan of Caratini. Well, Sergio, he comes through sometimes, but we don't have many left-handed bats. Low and outside. Ball 2. Caratini is, I guess you could say he's a utility player, right? He's switch hitter, catcher, first baseman. Little high. Ball 3, 3-1 to Cam Smith. Good at bat so far for Smith. Here comes the next toss. That one goes foul. It looked fair, but apparently it came off of his foot. Yep, that hit his shin guard. Full count on Cam Smith. Jacob Melton on deck. Here comes the next pitch to Cam. Foul tip, caught for strike 3. That's a 98 mile per hour pitch. Suddenly, Taj just cranking it up. Earlier, he was throwing in the low 90s for his fastball, and suddenly he's in the high 90s. Mixing it up. Just like that, it's 2 away. Jacob Melton comes to the plate. Astros number 2 prospect, 17 games in AAA. Not stellar, batting .254. Here comes his big league debut. Takes the first pitch in there for strike 1, 91 miles an hour. He's got a lot of stolen bases, though. 93 right in there, swing and a miss. But he's a left-handed batter. That's the good thing. If he can actually hit the ball, it'd be nice to have another lefty in the lineup. Oh, yeah, that's right. DeZenzo's on the injured list, too. Everybody is going on the injured list, just like for Oprah, right? Little high, 98 miles an hour, missing above the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Come on, do something with your first big league at bat. And he strikes out. So what do you know? His first big league at bat, he takes a strikeout. So you're in the majors now from AAA. Yeah. What did you do in your first at bat? I struck out looking. I didn't even go down fighting. I'm not a fighter. I'm just a looker. I like to watch. End of the 2nd inning. We go to the top of the 3rd. 1-0 Astros. 1-0 Stros. 1-0 Stros. Mark says Bradley looks like he needs to visit a dentist. I didn't pay any attention, but now you make me want to look. I need to go to a dentist myself. I've been needing to do that for years, but it's just, that's one of those things. For the average person, a lot of things are just put off because of the cost. Can't necessarily be justified according to income. And that was my case for years. One of those things that I am changing in my life, health, finances, relationships, all of those things, looking to change those from the inside out. Oh, Mark, you're talking about my thumbnail image show. I gotcha. Yeah, I decided, you know what? Downloading the pictures of every single opponent pitcher every time they bring in a new pitcher is so time consuming. Especially when they bring in not only just a new relief pitcher every inning later on, but sometimes 2 or 3 pitchers in one inning, and I don't have their pictures, so I have to go to the website and get the picture and then download it and then upload it and then type in their name. The game moves pretty quick. I don't have time for all that, so I decided instead just to make kind of a mascot placeholder image and put the text there. Only the Astros will have custom pictures. First pitch to Cameron Meisner is a ball outside, 1-0. Hunter Brown about to deliver the second pitch of the inning. Here comes the toss. Outside. 97 mile per hour fastball, 2-0. Why do the Manta Rays have a star? It looks like the North Star or something like that on there as their logo. Does anybody know? Explain it to me. 95 outside. 3 straight balls from Hunter Brown. Meisner with the 3-0 count. No outs. No one on base. Here comes the next toss. Outside, ball 4. 94 mile per hour sinker. 4-pitch walk by Hunter Brown. That's not good. It's not a good way to start the third inning. 4-pitch walk. Especially when you didn't throw any strong breaking pitches, just fastballs and a sinker. Jose Caballero. Swing and a miss. 96 fastball, high. Oh, and 1 is the count to Caballero. Here comes the next pitch. He shows bunt, pulls back. 1 ball and 1 strike, as that one was quite a bit off the plate. One ball, 1 strike. Here's a pitch. He hits this one out to right field. Should be playable. Cam Smith is under it. Puts it away for out number 1. Runner retreats to first base. One out, 1 run, 1 hit. The Rays have 1 out. The Astros have 1 hit, 1 run. Matt Dice, the catcher, is at the plate. Here's the first pitch in the dirt. Fake steal attempt there. 1 ball, no strikes. The 35th pitch of the game coming for Brown in just a moment. Mark says, I don't want to do drawings of Astros players. They all leave after I do them. I hear that. I just have AI do mine. It's much faster. Throw over to first base. He's back, no problem. One and 0 count to Matt Dice. Next pitch, right on that outside edge. Good toss, 96 mile per hour sinker. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out. Runner on first. Lots of ones. 1-1-1-1. Dice takes a quick timeout. Steps out of the box. Now he's getting back in there. Getting ready to go. Hunter Brown looking for the pitch. He's got what he wants. He comes set. Long pause. Here's the delivery. Swing and a miss. Nice. 96 mile per hour pitch. He thought about that one for a while and then unloaded on him. Dice's swing and miss was nice. I keep thinking about a dream that I had last night. It was very strange. I was riding around at night with a friend of mine from high school. He was driving, and suddenly I said, look out, because there were a bunch of metal pieces in the road, and he hit some of them pretty hard, but we went around the rest. Next pitch, there's a steal attempt. There's the throw. Did they get him? They say he did. He got him. The pitch was a ball. But how do you like that? They say that the steal was nabbed. How do you like that? Let's take a quick look at that. It was a fastball. Little outside. Diaz comes up, makes the throw. Yeah, that was right on. Good catch. Good tag. Heck yes, 2 away. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Just a little outside to Theis. Full count. What a nice throw by Diaz. Pena is also very good at letting the ball go all the way to the bag. Catching it late and making that tag. Here comes the full count pitch. Tapped foul. Count remains 3-2. There are a lot of things that I do on my channel that I wouldn't be able to do without having the AI tool. It's just so convenient for so many things. Oh, that's going to be a ball 4. A little high and outside. Just misses the corner. Hunter Brown really wanted that one. But it was not in the zone, my friend, so it is what it is. Runner on first. Here comes the next pitch to Josh Lowe. He fouls it off for strike 1. This is probably where Hunter comes back and gets a 3-pitch strikeout after missing by a fraction of an inch. 0-1 pitch on the way in just a moment. Here it comes. Oh, that was a strike. The umpire laid off. That was clearly completely in the zone, up and out. 83-mile-an-hour knuckle curve. Look at that. Boom, right there. 1-1. This is not going to make Hunter Brown very happy. Here's the next toss. Right in the top of the zone, 94 miles an hour on that cutter. 1-2. Yeah, Lowe is complaining about that, but what's crazy is that he should have struck out right there. That should have been strike 3. Everything that's been tossed has been in the zone. Here comes a 1-2 pitch with 2 outs and a runner on first. Ooh, he almost went around 97 high, but he held up. Ball 2. Mark says, I've never messed with computer art. I download pics for a reference for drawings. I like drawing myself, but it's one of those things that falls so far down the list with so many other things to do, you know. Here comes the next pitch. Outside. The crowd expresses their disappointment at that pitch missing, but it was more than 2 inches outside the zone. That was clearly a ball. Wouldn't have been fair to call that one a strike. Here comes a full count pitch. Will Hunter Brown get out of the inning? Here it comes. No, he steps off the mound for a break. Little disengagement there. 45 pitches now for Hunter Brown. 15 per inning now. His average has gone up. This inning has been a little bit of a hassle. Hit the left field all the way out to Altuve. He's got it on the warning track. Good. He puts it away. Opposite field fly out by Josh Lowe. Hunter Brown gets out of the inning, but he has to work for it. Move that pitch count way up. Pitching now, on average, more than 15 per inning. He was at a little over 12, about 12 to 13. Now it's 15. It's a little high. Pitching like that, he's not going to go more than 6. But then again, pitching 6 solid innings is what Hunter Brown usually does, right? Bottom of the third coming up, guys. The Astros carrying a massive lead. I'm going to look on my scoreboard capture. I'm going to look through my screen here and see if I have something that can be used for base runners, because I can't get it to appear. This scoreboard actually has base runners, but for some reason they don't appear on the screen. Don't know why. Can't tell you why. I've spent so many hours trying to fix it, and I finally just gave up. So I'm not going to be able to mess with that anymore. Let's see. Let's see if I can get one. Do they have one on the ESPN board? They might. They just might. Let's see. They do. Let's do a screen capture. I'll do a screen capture. I'll add a screen capture. And we'll see. I'm going to put this down here. I can't do that. I've got to... Okay, I see. I've got to make it much smaller. Much smaller than that. Where is it? Of course, it makes it difficult. It's not easy. Okay, I've got... No. Stop that. I'm trying to do a screen capture for it, but it's not working with me here. I think we're already back in the game. I'm going to have to mess with it later, guys. I'm sorry about that. We're back in the game already. Mauricio Dubon is at the plate, and it's already a 3-2 count. So as I'm trying to get a base runner display on the screen, Mauricio Dubon gets the full count. So I apologize. I'm just trying to get the... I'm really just trying to get the scoreboard, not the scoreboard, the base runners on the board for you guys. But I'll have to... I guess I'll just have to look at that after the game. Fouled off. Count remains 3-2 to Mauricio Dubon. Dubon batting ninth in the Astros lineup today. Inside, ball 4. What an at-bat by Mauricio Dubon. The 96-mile-per-hour fastball. The Taj special. And we have a 0 out. A 0 out base runner, leadoff base runner. They're showing some of the highlights of the beginning of the game yesterday, which looked great at first, right? Pena starting the game off with a home run, getting another home run. Speaking of Pena, he's at the plate right now. Fouls the first pitch off for strike 1. Oh, no. What? No, that was a highlight. They're showing highlights. I was glancing at the screen. First pitch is taken for ball 1. He swings at that one, and it goes through on the opposite side. Is Dubon going to go to third? Yes. They wave him around. We have runners on the corners with no outs. Heck yes. Pena, with his first official hit of the game, he's been on base 2 times in a row. How do you like that? Runners on the corners with no outs here in the bottom of the third. 97-mile-per-hour fastball right through that big gap on the right side of the field over there. That brings up Altuve. Altuve with runners on the corners, no outs. Here comes the first pitch. No. Not Altuve. Man, what am I looking at on the screen? Okay, my layout has changed. I moved the size of the screen and the layout changed. So the names moved around. Isaac Paredes is at the plate. 1-0 is the count. Here's the pitch. He fouls that one back. 1-1. Man, that's the tricky thing about moving things around. Right now I only have one screen up here and then my laptop screen, but I'm trying to get my other screens hooked up. I'll have to do that later. Once I get all of those, I don't have to move stuff around. I can just put it where it is and leave it there. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Paredes. Runners on the corners, guys. 89 miles an hour right in the top of the zone, taken for strike 2. Man, got to swing at that one, man. A cutter right in the top of the zone. That was a good one. Good one to crank into the Crawford boxes. Let's extend this lead. He socked that ball. He takes a little timeout, steps out of the box. Mel says, "Hi, Brent. I'm back from my road trip." Hey, Mel, welcome back. Unfortunately, I was able to check out any of the restaurants you recommended. I was exhausted for driving. I got to Shreveport and friends made dinner. Hey, friends making dinner is better anyway. Good for you. Glad you got back safe. Glad you had a good time. Isak swings and misses. Up and out of the zone. Strike 3. Out 1. Taj gets a K. But that brings my hero to the plate. Oh, they got an awesome car show coming up at Dykeen Park. That's pretty cool. Bet they got some awesome Lamborghinis there I'd like to see. Here comes the first pitch to Altuve. First pitch inside for strike 1. 97. 0-1. Come on, Altuve. He grounded out his last at bat. Any hit right here is a big hit. Here comes the toss. Nope. Taj goes over to first base. Pena is back. It would be kind of nice to see Pena steal second before Altuve gets a hit. We could score 2 runs. But that disengagement there, Pena might be off to the races here. We'll see. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch to Altuve. He hits this one high in the air. Just a little golf shot to the second baseman. Man, what a terrible, terrible way to go down. Just kind of golfed that one up to the second baseman. Talk about an easy out there. Rays got lucky. 2 away. Here we go again. Astros being Astros. 2 men on with no outs. And now here we are. 2 men on with 2 outs. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Here's the pitch. Grounds it foul. Little tapper down the third baseline. 0-1. Astros bats being Astros bats. Mel, what else did you do? It looks like, I guess you didn't have a lot of time to spend in Shreveport. What did you do while you were there? And why did you go to Shreveport? That's another question. Were you just passing through? Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Walker. Long delay by Taj. Fouled off. 0-2. We don't ask too much when we have runners on the corners. All we need is a little single. Haven't even gotten that so far. Here's the 0-2 to Walker. That's in there. He takes it, of course. Of course! Might as well. And Walker chewing his gum like it's no big deal. He's just like, yeah, whatever. No. Disappointing. Top of the 4th coming up. The Astros miss a tremendous opportunity there just to double their lead. Just to get 1 run. Runners on the corners with no outs. And they come up completely empty. And how do they go down in the end? Strikeout looking. Strikeout looking. Swing the bat. Swing the bat. They were doing it in the first inning, guys. They came up in the first inning and 5 pitches in a row. They hit the ball 5 times. 5 pitches, 5 swings, 5 smacks. Not all of them were official hits, but they were swinging at the ball. Here we have another opportunity with runners on the corners. and they just, bleh, the gas goes out. They're taking the gas out of me. Top of the fourth, coming up 1-0 Astros. 2 hits for the Astros, no hits for the Rays. 1 error for the Rays, though. Melwood says, casino. Visit my niece and friends I hadn't seen in over 30 years. Ah, I see. Okay. The old riverboats. Mel, I don't know if you know this or not, but I can tell you something interesting about the riverboats, the riverboat casinos. The rest of you might not know this, but you'll find it interesting. Gambling in Louisiana is illegal. Excuse me. That sneeze came up too fast for me to turn the mute on. I had to take my headset off. Hunter Brown is back on the mound. He's facing Brandon Lowell in just a moment. You might be wondering, if gambling is illegal in Louisiana, then how do they have gambling? Well, I can tell you that. Louisiana, first of all, if you look at their law, it says specifically that they do not allow gambling on land in Louisiana. So what did they do? They put it on riverboats, and they don't call it gambling, they call it gaming. So gambling in Louisiana is actually called gaming. First pitch to Brandon Lowell. It looks like a ball, but I can't tell because they're talking to some lady on the screen. Apparently she's a relative of Jacob Melton. She needs to stop talking. Let's see the game. Outside. That one's clearly outside. The count is now 1-1 apparently. First pitch was a strike. Hunter Brown approaching 50 pitches. Here comes the next toss. In the dirt. Check swing. He didn't go. 2 balls, 1 strike. I'm going to mute this. I don't want to. I can't call the game while somebody's just talking. Can't do that. They're still talking to her. Here comes the next pitch. That one's hit high in the air. Looks like it's playable in the right center field. Who's going to get it? Cam Smith gets it. He calls off the newbie, Jacob Melton. That's actually who they're talking about right now. This lady here is a relative of Melton. Out number 1. Yandy Diaz comes back to the plate for a second serving of Hunter Brown. That's just inside for ball 1. The 96-mile-per-hour pitch. Finally, they stopped interviewing her. I can unmute the game. Here's a pitch. Low and inside for ball 2. Yandy grounded out his last at bat. Two balls, no strikes. Pitch to Yandy. In there, but fouled off. Either way, it's a strike. 2-1. Millwood says smart moves. It's just like in Japan. It reminds me of Japan, guys. There's no gambling that's allowed in Japan, but they do have gambling. It's just called slots and pachinko. Hey, that barely misses. 3-1. Thought that was a strike. Guess not. There are pachinko parlors everywhere in Japan. It's like slot machines. And you get these little metal balls. And you just try to win as many metal balls as you can. And then the next day you can go back and you can trade them in for money. For some reason, if you get them the same day, it would be considered gambling, and that's illegal. But if you change it for a ticket. By the way, that was a foul ball. Strike 2. The count is full against Yandy. The full count coming up in just a moment. Here comes the pitch. Broken bat, tapper to Pena. Goes over to first, no problem. Out number 2. But Japan basically is doing the same thing that Louisiana is. They're just doing things that literally are gambling, but they just rename it and do it in a different way. And it's so immature. There's no such thing as an adult. It's just adults in quotes, doing childish things. Just call it gambling. If you're going to do it, just call it gambling. That's what it is. Here's the first pitch to the next batter. Jonathan Aranda takes that one outside for ball 1. But by the way, pachinko in Japan is highly addictive. They are everywhere. Pachinko parlors are everywhere, and a lot of old people, middle-aged and old people, are completely addicted to it. It is a big issue. Swing and a miss, strike 1 against Aranda. 1-1. Here comes the next pitch from Hunter Brown. Just barely inside. I thought it was going to be a ball, but he calls it a strike. It was completely outside the zone, but it was right on that edge. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. The crowd gets a little excited here as Aranda takes a little moment to walk around. 2 outs, 1-2 count. 60th pitch of this game coming for Hunter Brown. Here comes the toss. High. Ball 2, 2-2. So right now, Hunter Brown is at exactly 15 pitches per inning on average. At the 60 mark. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And here comes the 2-0. Strike 3, swing and a miss on the 97 outer edge strike zone area, heater, volcano, blast, explosion. What am I even saying there? What am I even saying? Don't know. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Astros up 1-0 with 2 hits. No hitter for Hunter Brown going so far through 4 innings. It would be nice if people could say, hey, Hunter Brown got himself a no-hitter. Well, not pitching 15 per inning. He'll never get that. Hunter Brown will get through 6 pitching like this. Highly doubtful that we'll see Hunter Brown in the 7th. We'll see, but highly doubtful. Sergio says, after yesterday's loss, 16-3, I could see us winning today's game 1-0. You know what, Sergio? If you actually look at the way the Astros have been hitting in this series, it's been really terrible. They've been just barely scoring any runs, right? Just enough to get it done, or just enough to actually, the league average is what, 4 runs per game, 3 or 4 runs per game. They haven't been doing any more than that. They've been completely anemic on offense. So I wouldn't doubt it. Mark says Bingo Hall has a game room for charity at the end of my street. That's another thing, Mark. Bingo is also an addictive game in the U.S. You could say, in a way, bingo is kind of like the pachinko of America. Pachinko is Japan's thing. In China, it's mahjong. But mahjong is a little different because people play openly on the streets. They sit outside. A bunch of older people, they sit outside. The funny thing is, my girlfriend played when I was there. I had a girlfriend for a few years, and she was really good apparently at mahjong, and she would often win money. And whenever she would win big, she would say, let's go eat, and we'd go to a nice restaurant. It was her treat. It was pretty nice. Yainer Diaz at the plate, swings and misses at the first pitch, strike 1. 1 line out so far today for Diaz. The next pitch is on the way. Takes that one inside for strike 2. Oh, and 2. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt, ball 1. By the way, I just heard an interesting statistic about the start to this game. The Astros swung at the first 5 pitches. All of them put the ball in play. It's the first time that's happened in the MLB this year. Pretty interesting, huh? Oh, since 2000, they said. Wow. Since 2000, that's never happened. That's strange. Here comes the first pitch, or the next pitch, rather. Ball 2. 2-2. Yainer trying to get on base here. Yiner bomb would be nice too, but hey, let's do baby steps. Here comes the next pitch. Grounded straight to the shortstop. He picks it up, has plenty of time to make the play. Does a little double step, fires over, and puts Yiner to sleep. Yonder Diaz goes back to the D out. The D out. The D out. It is now. It's the Yonder D out. The dugout. That brings up Victor Caratini, the other catcher. Batting lefty against Taj, the righty. First pitch is on the way. Whoa, way upstairs. That one went to the 5th floor. 1-0. The Batman with a serious look on his face as usual. Here comes the next toss. Ooh, just barely misses outside. Good call by the ump there. 2-0. Fromber and Jordan sitting side by side over there. Two balls and no strikes with 1 out. Here comes the pitch to Caratini. The Batman takes a swing at it but can't get the bat on it. 98 miles an hour, strike 1. The count is 2-1. Shoot says that boy is good. Yeah, good and terrible. Another swing and miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes, evened up. Here's Taj's pitch to Caratini. High and outside. 98 miles an hour, but way out of there. Full count. Bradley takes a moment to rub the ball up. Full count to Caratini. Here comes the pitch. He fouls this one off and out of play. Not a bad at bat by Caratini. Other than missing on the swings and misses. Here comes the second full count pitch. And there we go. Speaking of swings and misses, he goes down 94 miles an hour splitter. Caratini will go back to the dugout and join Yonner. 2 away. Quiet inning so far. Would you guys rather see an inning where the Astros go 3 up and 3 down quietly, or start off the inning with a couple guys on base and then go out and just strand them? I'd rather them just go 3 up and 3 down, personally. Cam Smith at the plate. First pitch to him is a ball. I don't like the disappointment of getting guys on base with no outs and then stranding them. Way high. 2-0. Good start to this count for Cam. I think he had a 2-0 count his last at bat. Mark says back had to get peanut butter for the dog. more peanut butter for the dog. Do you mean Bit Dog? Is it peanut butter for Bit Dog? Here comes the next pitch. Fouled off. 97 right in there, but put into the crowd by Cam Smith. 2-1. Sergio says hopefully the coach doesn't gamble with his choices of who he brings in from the bullpen to pitch in relief. I sure hope not. I hope he makes the right call today. Here comes the pitch. Low and inside, ball 3. Good take. 3-1 is the count. You know, Sergio, if this game is really close, within like 1 or 2 runs, then it's going to be very important that we play the right relief pitchers. Very, very, very important. Here comes the next toss. 98 in the upper part of the zone. Swing and a miss by Cam. The count is now full. David says, is Verlander available? Is that a joke? Do you mean for trade back to the Astros? Why would we trade for him? 99 fouled off. Very fast pitch there. Taj cranked it up, but Cam fouled it off. And Cave says now if we could keep the opposing team from scoring 16 runs, maybe those 5 hits would help. Yes, full count. Cam fouls it off pretty hard down the left field side. Count remains 3-2. Mark says every day at 2. Every day at 2 he gets the peanut butter, Mark? Are you serious? Every day at 2, it's peanut butter time. No jelly? Here comes the pitch. Cam fouls it off again. Cam's trying to crank it up. Brr, 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 brr. It's like me trying to get my trimmer cranked up. I wasn't here at my house for more than a year, and so many things have broken since then. It's ridiculous. Here's the next pitch. Right in there. There we go. Of course. Cam acts like he's going to get a walk. He goes to toss the bat down, but that was a strike looking. You know that was a strike. What a hoser. I have to say that. That's one of my favorite Canadian words. It's hoser. Cam, what a hoser you are. Pretending like that was a ball. Once again going down. Strike 3 looking. Going down looking. That's 2 innings in a row that we've ended the inning on a strike 3 looking. That's nice. Thank you, Cam. But you know what? 3 up and 3 down, like I said, is preferable to getting 2 runners on and then out, out, out. It's less disappointing. But look at the bright side. Hunter Brown has been solid. No hits, no runs. Astros have gotten a couple of hits and have a run on the board. The only question is the Rays batting lineup just too tired to deal with the Astros relief pitchers? Because you know, they come the 7th inning, the Astros are going to be changing pitchers. And if it's 1-0, it's going to come all the way down to that battle. The Astros relievers and the Rays batters. Because I don't think that the Astros bats are going to do anything in this series. They haven't been. They could. But if we're just going historically with this series, if everybody plays historically, it really has a lot to do with the relievers. But somebody did make the point earlier. Who was it that made the point earlier? That they might be tired. Let me go back and take a look. One of you guys said that, well, the first pitch is already in there for a ball to Caminero. But yeah, it is actually a legitimate point if you think about it. Game 1, the Rays went crazy, and they didn't do anything in Game 2. Maybe they were tired. Maybe that will happen again this game. We'll see. Low and inside. Ball 2. It's legitimate. Not just tired, but maybe overconfident. Tired and overconfident. Maybe both. Maybe sore. We'll see. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Wow, way and inside. Way low and inside, rather. Way and inside. Way and inside. 3-0. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Low, ball 4, another 4-pitch walk. Hunter Brown has done that a couple of times this game. Just 2 4-pitch walks. Runner on first with no outs. Caminero doesn't even get a single pitch that's competitive. Ow. Got a little bit of a sore on my nose. It is highly uncomfortable. Jake Mangum at the plate. Here comes the first pitch. That's finally in there on the inside edge for strike 1, 95 miles an hour. 0-1 to Mangum. Runner on first, no outs. Mangum at the plate with an 0-1 count. 4:17 in the morning here in Japan. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Brown. Hit up the middle. Pena stumbles. He quickly goes to second and then over to first, but it's too late. Pena slipped on the dirt. They get the runner at second, the lead runner, but they don't get him at first base. A little slip there. Let's take a look at that to see what happened. Can't really see it from that wide angle. Let's take a closer look at that if they show us the replay. Yeah, you can see here he slipped. Yeah, they get the out there, but he's way past the bag at first base. Runner on first, one out. That brings up Cameron Meisner to the plate. Umpire tells Hunter Brown, give the batter just a tad bit more time, sir. 67 pitches now for Brown. Next one on the way in just a moment. Here it comes. Right on the outside edge, called a strike. Knuckle curve finds the mark. 0-1 to Meisner. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That one's almost in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Whew. That's so uncomfortable. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the toss from Hunter Brown. Ground ball over to first. They say it's foul. Walker grabbed it and stepped on the base. But it doesn't matter. Second strike. Let's take another look at it from this angle. Just barely foul. Would have been an easy out, but would have also advanced the runner to second. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Meisner. 70 pitches now for Hunter Brown. Here comes the next toss. Way high. They, I guess, thought that he was going to be stealing there. Yiner was standing up before that pitch was even thrown, but he didn't go. The count is 2-2. Yeah, Hunter Brown goes to first that time. They really think that he's going to be stealing here. Two balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. 1 runner on. Here's the pitch. Grounded straight to second. No play at first. He was stealing. He's able to get there. Mangum gets to second, no problem, but the out at first base, so we get the same result anyway that we would have gotten had Walker stepped on the bag and got the out with a fair ball. Dubon with the play there. Caballero at the plate. First pitch is just a little high for ball 1. This is the first time that the Rays have had a runner in scoring position today. Caballero flew out his last at bat. Here's the next pitch. This one's hit hard to left field. Is Altuve going to be able to get there? Yes, he is. Hard line drive by Caballero, but right at Altuve, who gets it on the run. Good job, Altuve. Another decent inning from Hunter Brown. Pitch count a little high, but still got the no-hitter going. No-hitter through 5 innings. We go into the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Astros. That error in the first inning that got Pena on second base is the only reason the Astros have a run on the board. And I'm going to pour myself a second cup of coffee. This one will be the weak version. Weak. You could call this Coffee 2.0 or Week 1.0. Take your pick. if I poured a fresh cup of coffee every single time, there would be two issues. One is it would be way too strong and give me a headache. The second thing would be it would cost a lot more money. I would go through my coffee twice as fast. Sergio says, frustrating as it is, I'd rather strand base runners than go 3 up and 3 down. At least it shows we're trying. Well, that's actually kind of my problem, is that when they get those base runners on, it's like the following batters aren't trying. Because the first couple of batters, they get up there and they're like, yeah, they swing the bat. They go the full count. They get on base. They work the count. They do everything and they get on base, right? And then the next 3 guys, they strike out looking. They swing at terrible pitches. They don't look at all like the first couple of batters. So the way in which they go down matters to me. And the Astros have not been looking good the way that they've been getting out. And so I guess I could add that detail. First pitch to Jacob Melton is a swing and miss. Strike 1. This is Melton's official second at bat of his MLB career. In the dirt, ball 1, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's see if he can be Melton Taj Bradley. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, I'm sorry. It's going to be a diving catch by the second baseman. He fires over. Is he safe? He's safe. Melton beats it out for his first major league hit. The second baseman made a great diving catch on that ground ball. It was almost through for a solid hit, but due to his speed, Melton gets the hit. His family is applauding. Here comes the replay. He might be out. Might be out. I don't know. It's close, but it looks like he might be out. He hustled really hard, but they might be overturning it. I think they're going to review it. Yeah, they're going to review it. He was called safe. They're talking about how it used to be. That would have been a... Take a look at it here. Ooh, that was close. Yeah. That might be his first big league hit, but man. Yeah. Woo, that's so close. Are they going to overturn it in New York? Because that could be his first major league hit. How close is that? Is it close enough to overturn? That's the question. Yeah, it's the ball's actually in the glove before his foot gets on the base, so they're probably going to overturn it, call him out. That's unfortunate. We'll see. Look at that. We'll see. But you remember in the old days, if it's close, it's supposed to go to the runner. Always, right? But nowadays, we have that review system, and they try to break it down so close, right? Here comes the call. Hey, safe. They call him safe. What do you know? He has his first hit. All right. Jacob Melton with a leadoff hit for the Stros and his first hit of his major league career. All right. Isn't that funny? Your first hit is a review, and it's super close. Could have been overturned, but they gave it to him. That's something you don't see too often. A little bit of love from New York. Arigato gozaimasu. Mauricio Dubon is back at the plate. Whoa, he shows bunt, but pulls back, almost gets hit. With that inside pitch, 95 miles an hour. 1 ball, no strikes. Dubon had to hustle out of the way of that one. Melton is pretty fast. Let's see if Dubon can move him around. Here comes the second pitch to Dubon. He shows bunt again. Man, big time foul off. 95 miles an hour. That one went way up in the air. Lucky it was foul. 1-1. Crazy. Ray's pitching has been solid this series. Yes, KF, you're right. The Astros hitting has been bad. He bunts this one again. In the air, foul. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mark says Cajun coffee is strong. I used to call it mud. Really? I don't think it's too strong. Try Italian coffee. You'll see what strong is. American style coffee is if you get American style coffee in Japan, it's also called weak coffee. That's because it basically is a weak version of Italian coffee. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Dubon. He's swinging away. Let's see what he does on this pitch. Long delay by Taj. He held back for that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes as the pitch goes outside. Bit Dog says, come on, Ty goes to the runner. That's true. It's got to be clearly a clear turnover, right? Dubon grounds that to second. They go to second and they slide. Oh, they tag him. Did he keep the ball? They call him out. What exactly happened there? Take a look at this. So Caballero grabbed it and tagged him. Okay, he fell down. I thought maybe he dropped the ball or something. He didn't drop the ball. He just kind of lost his balance whenever Melton slid in. So he's out, but Dubon is safe at first. 1 away. Fielder's choice, but they get the lead runner. That brings up Jeremy Pena, who's got a hit today and a base on error. They say he did not swing on that one. Ball 1. Dubon has Ronald McDonald shoes. Yeah, he's always wearing something silly. He wore all the Hello Kitty stuff the other day, the Hello Kitty belt and everything. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Pena. High, ball 2. 2-0 to Pena with 1 out, runner on first. Sergio says that's why you should always sprint 100% to first base every time. And they said that he was averaging more than 35 feet per second. Super fast. It was awesome. Jordan says, I like Turkish coffee. I'd like to try some. I also like Vietnamese coffee, but, you know, it has a lot of sugar. They like to put milk and sugar in it. But the richness of it is excellent. It's the best I've had. 2 balls and no strikes. 68 pitches now for Taj Bradley. Runner on first. Dubon. Bradley steps off the mound. Just 1 out. Come on, Pena. You got the power, baby. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Ooh, almost got him. Did it get him? No, it almost did. 3-0. Three balls and no strikes to Pena. 69 pitches for Bradley. Here comes the 70th. High. Ball 4, 98. Misses the zone by less than 2 inches. 2 runners on with 1 out. He socked the ball. Paredes comes to the plate with 2 runners on. Let's blow this game up. Come on. Earlier we had runners on the corners, and now we have runners on first and second. Let's do something. Pitching coach comes out to have a little chat with Bradley. Jordan says, one reason I go to Vietnam, also pho for breakfast. Yeah, Vietnam is nice. I've only been there once, and my short-time girlfriend is Vietnamese, but we had a little chat the other day, just a short chat. She's definitely not my girlfriend right now. Not anymore. She was for a short time, at least I thought she was. But she's dealing apparently with emotional issues. She wanted all of the benefits of being in a relationship. I mean, literally every single possible thing that couples do, close couples do. That's what we had. But to her, it wasn't meant to be permanent. It was just to make her feel good, I guess. Paredes takes the first pitch in the top of the zone, 91 miles an hour for strike one. But anyway, for right now, I'm just trying to cleanse my heart and my soul of her and focus on myself. My health has got to be recovered. And my finances, every part of my life, it has suffered for too long. Fouled off by Paredes. 0-2 is the count. 0-2 with one out, 2 runners on. Melton slid too early. I didn't think that he was going to reach second base. Sergio, I think the same thing. He did. He barely got there. Should have gone in head first. That's another thing, though. Why even slide? These guys are sliding, but if you don't slide, you make it almost impossible for them to throw to first base. So just don't slide. I think it's a great strategy. You don't have to slide and get out of the way. Just don't slide. Make them throw it around you. I've seen some teams do that. I think it's excellent ball play. Don't just make it easy for them to throw it to first base, you know. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Paredes. Fouled off. Bounced her down the third baseline. The count remains 0-2. 21 people watching now. Thank you so much. I've got 16 likes on the live stream. I haven't been plugging the likes, but if you can drop a like, I'd appreciate it. I'd like to get this to 20 at least. Kind of the minimal for me. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. He sucked the ball, smacks that one foul. 0-2, the count remains. Dubon at second. Pena at first. Woo! Did that hit him? Oh, no, they say it's a foul tip, strikeout, because the catcher caught it. It hit the bat, they say. Let's take another look. Yeah. Yeah, it hit the knob of the bat, and the catcher caught it. Yeah, it wasn't a hit by pitch. That was a strikeout because it was a foul tip caught by the catcher. So Paredes goes down. It wasn't a strikeout looking, but it was a strikeout one step down from that. Half swing, foul tipped off the bat. Please, Altuve, I am praying to the gods, all of the gods, right now for my hero, Jose Altuve, to come through with a big hit right here. You can do it. Takes that first pitch inside. The curveball. Strike one. Over 2 today. He had a little pop out his last at bat. And another pop out his bat before that, I think. He fouls this one back. 0-2 now. Altuve has been phenomenal at home in this recent homestand. His batting average has been phenomenal, even with a lot of home runs. It'd be nice to see him continue that right here. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off at the plate. The curveball, 82 miles an hour. Sergio says, unfortunately, most athletes weren't physics majors. It'd be nice if they studied something that would help them with the game. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Altuve. He strikes out the 98 mile per hour pitch way above the zone there. Well, at least he didn't go down swinging. Altuve didn't stand there and take it like a fool. He went after it. It was a couple of inches above the zone, but I've seen him hit homers off those before, so I can't complain about that. That's what you call trying. We go to the top of the sixth. The Astros clinging on to their fumes of winning 1-0. The fumes. The Astros winning wagon is running on fumes right now. Hunter Brown is due up in just a moment for inning number 6 of his no-hitter. Inning number 6 of the Hunter Brown no-hitter. My second cup of coffee still not complete, but with that pour, it will be done in just a few moments. Hello everyone, welcome to the British MLB Houston Astros baseball team broadcast. I'm your host, Brandon English. That's right. Coming at you live. Should I say live? Live from London. That's right. Over in London, we love the baseball, the American baseball we do. What? We love it. And as such, we have a special game for you today. But in typical English style, we do not start until the top of the 6th. So top of the 6th to ya. This is what happens whenever not much is going on in the game. I have to find ways to entertain myself. 25 people watching now. Awesome. But only, 26. Now down to 24. It's going up and down. But only 18 likes. Please like the live stream while you're here, guys. I just need 2 more to get to 20. Thank you very much. Hunter Brown is back in. Here's the first pitch to Matt Thaiss. High to Thaiss. 1-0 is the count. 1 walk for Thaiss today. That's his productivity. One of only 2 walks that Hunter Brown has given up. I think it's 2 walks. Outside, he's going to try to walk him again. It looks like 2 balls and no strikes. Excuse me. Let's see. How many walks by Hunter Brown? No, 3 walks. My bad. Here's the next toss. Right in the low part of the zone. Strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Guys, I have been going through some unbelievable nonsense just trying to get my water hooked up. For those of you who know anything, by the way, Thaiss calls a timeout. He's outside of the box right now. 2 balls and 1 strike is the count. For any of you who know about water pump systems and well systems, here's the next pitch. Fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Couldn't catch up to the fastball. The old pump that I had out here, it had 3 connections. Apparently it's called a jet pump system. I didn't know anything about it. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Woo! Just barely outside that upper outer corner. Full count. Three balls and 2 strikes to Matt Thaiss, the 9-hole batter. Here comes the next pitch from Brown. Way outside. He walked him again. 4th walk of the game for Hunter Brown. He's not having good luck pitching to Thaiss. Thaiss eating him up with those pitches. What is it about Thaiss that makes Hunter Brown unable to pitch? Is it because he's lefty? Well, the next the next hitter is a lefty also. And that one's right in there. the knuckle curve for strike one. Josh Lowe at the plate. 0-1 is the count. Next toss on the way. That's also in there. 95 mile per hour fastball. 0-2, just like that. So Hunter Brown walks the ice for the second time, but he comes right back with 2 strikes to Josh Lowe. I'm spilling the creamer everywhere. Outside, ball 1-2. Trying to put some half and half in my coffee, spilling it all over myself, all over the desk. Good job. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Long delay. Hit to left field. That's going to be down for a hit. No hitter is broken up. First hit for the Rays. Runners advance. Our runner advances. First and second, no outs. Probably going to draw a visit from the pitching coach. That's my guess. Leadoff walk, leadoff hit, leadoff walk and a follow-up hit. There is a little bit of a mound visit going on, but I'm not sure that the pitching coach, no, he's not going to come out. Just Dubon and Diaz. It's a Dubon, Diaz, Hunter Brown. Dubon, Diaz, Brown. Magnum PI is warming up in the bullpen. Brian King. Let's hope that he has a typical outing and not like the last one. Oh my gosh. I feel so sorry for the guy. But I made a new image for Brian King, one that preserves his Magnum PI status, but also fits better on my screen. So I'm looking forward to putting that in the game. Josh Lowe at the plate. I'm sorry, Brandon Lau is at the plate for the Rays. Josh Lowe is on first base. Runners on first and second for the Rays with no outs. Here's the first pitch to Brandon Lau. Way outside by a good foot. Ball 1. Anybody interested in coming to Hiroshima? Helping me do some cleaning and some work around here? You're welcome to stay for free. Just come help me out. You're welcome to come. Here's the pitch. Right in there. Nice curve. Knuckle curve right in the middle of the plate. Started way outside. Came back in. The count is now 1-1. Philip says, smoking a joint listening to this beautiful podcast. Thank you, sir. You are beautiful. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a foul tip. Miss. Caught by Diaz. 88 miles an hour. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Philip, that's actually one of those things that's highly illegal in Japan. They're really serious about even weed in Japan. They're even worse in China. They can put you in jail for decades or execute you. That's crazy. China is a dangerous place. Fouled off. 98 mile per hour fastball. Lau was able to get the bat on it to remain alive. The count remains 1-2. Sergio says, is Brian Abreu available today in the bullpen? Sergio, maybe. Did he pitch yesterday? I would imagine if he didn't go more than 1 inning, he would be available today. Ooh, strike 3 on the inside. Good call, ump. 97 miles an hour on that inside edge, a delayed call, but he gives it to him, a strikeout, first out of the inning. Are we going to get the close-up? Yes. Right there, baby. That's what you call strike 3. It's nice to see the Rays striking out looking for a change. Ooh, that next pitch, another one inside on the next batter. Yandy Diaz, strike 1. 90 pitches now for Hunter Brown. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the toss. Woo, that one's a little too far inside. Almost clocked him on the arms. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on first and second. Runners on first and second as I correct my own grammar. Mark says no red gummy bears. Here's the next pitch. Low and inside for ball 2. 97 mile per hour sinker missing. Missing the El Marco. Don't see too many double plays from Hunter Brown, but excuse me, that one came on so fast. Big sneeze. Here's the next pitch. Ground ball might be a double play. Dubon with the delay to Pena, but they are still able to get it. He couldn't get it out of his glove. But what I was about to say before that big sneeze came on is that they mentioned earlier the statistics. Hunter Brown very excited about that double play. Earlier in the game, one of the things that they mentioned was, and I'll share with you guys, is that although pitchers like Fromber have a much higher double play percentage and ground ball percentage than pitchers like Hunter Brown, it is interesting to note that Hunter Brown actually has a pretty good double play percentage when there is a runner on first base. Higher than average. And now you know. Pretty interesting, I think. And I was just trying to say that right before that pitch, and I had that big sneeze. And then guess what? He got the double play. So the Astros get the double play. The runners on base don't turn into anything dangerous for the Astros. When we go to the bottom of the 6th, Astros up by 1. You can hear the birds outside right now, the crows and some of the other birding. It's 4:50, just 10 minutes till 5. The birds are starting to wake up. BitDog says Amsterdam is the place to be for most substances. Yes. Also physical pleasures, probably. Philip says maybe I can identify as Brittany Griner. Just stay away from Russia. There won't be a second chance. Sergio says, yes, double play. Exactly what we needed, right? A strikeout and a double play. I still haven't seen a triple play. Have any of you guys ever been watching an Astros game and seen a triple play live? I think I need to blow my nose. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. Just in time to see that Walker already has a 1-1 count. 1-1 to Christian Walker. All I did was blow my freaking nose. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Below the zone. Hey, at least he's swinging. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Where's my coffee? Okay. Got a message from my live stream. Fouled off. Count remains 1-2. My live stream software says just randomly, your stream health is excellent. Thank you. What about my personal health? Is that also excellent? Still only 19 likes on the channel, on the live stream rather. Thought I would have 20 by now. Here's the next pitch to Walker. Swing and a miss in the dirt. He tries to golf it out. Christian Walker thinks he's in the sand pit. This is baseball, not golf. 1 away. At this point, I'm just expecting the Astros not to get any more runs. Next batter is Yainer Diaz. He takes that first pitch high and inside for ball one. A line out, a Yainer out, a Yain out, and a ground out for Yainer today. It looks like a fly out is going to be added to that as he hits this one up to the second baseman. And he does. 2 away. A line out, a Yain out, a ground out, and a fly out. 2 up and 2 down. Victor Caratini comes to the plate. He will be the third and final out for the Astros this inning. First pitch from Taj is on the way. Way high. Ball one. Caratini has a ground out and a strikeout today. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. 90 miles an hour on the splitter. Does not connect. 1 ball, 1 strike. Caratini wants a little timeout there. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Way high again. Almost 2 feet out of the zone there. 2-1 is the count. Mark says, yes, I've seen a triple play. Philip says, traditional or caught in the air. I would say the 1-2-3 kind of thing. You know, hey, this is hit out to left field. All right, 3 up and 3 down. I called it. It looks like Brian King is coming into the game. Taj and Hunter Brown both have a pretty solid 6 innings. King trots in from left field from the bullpen. Let's go ahead and get that picture changed. Hunter Brown is out. He's done his duty for the day. There we go. Boom. Brian King, Magnum PI. How do you like that? How do you like that thumbnail? Or that avatar, rather? The other one just didn't fit on the screen. Even though it's really funny, it's just too long. I need the 1:1 ratio. So I had the AI remake it for me. And the result is not bad. 19 likes on the live stream. Just one more, guys. Bump me up to 20, if you will. I would very much appreciate it. Caesar, howdy to you too, sir. That sneeze saved the Stros. Maybe so. It was a double play sneeze. Philip, what I was trying to say is like a ground ball. I mean, if they catch it and they fire it to second to get a force out and then over to first to get a force out, that's fine. But it's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the traditional type. Like third to second to first. Mark says, hit second and caught. Runner was off the bag, so got him and runner at first. Gotcha. I'd like to see one third to second to first. That's what I want to see. Or home to second to first. Or home to third to second. Whatever. That's what I want to see. Sergio says, I wish that I was a lip reader, although I can imagine I always wonder what Christian Walker mumbles when he strikes out. We could probably message one of those lip readers on YouTube, lip reading channels. Whoops! I just realized that I left. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get a little copyright on that one. I was doing so well. First pitch in the bottom of the zone, called a ball. That was a nice pitch, but called a ball. Top of the 7th, 1-0, swing and a miss by Jonathan Aranda. 1 ball, 1 strike. I can't believe that I left that silly screen up there for so long, that preview screen. What was I thinking? That's in there. 1-2. 90-mile-per-hour sinker. Aranda calls a little timeout. Backs out of the box. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Aranda fouls that one off. Go Astros need to win. Absolutely we do. Philip says, that's cool. Hope you're feeling good, bro. Thank you so much. You too. Here comes the next pitch. In the dirt. 2-2. The sweeper, the Swiffer missing. But it was in the dirt, so that's good. Brian King cleaning the plate off a little bit with the Swiffer. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Fouled off the top of the zone. 91 mile per hour sinker. The count remains 2-2. Here comes the next toss. That's grounded left side. That's going to be right through all the way to the wall. He's going to run over to second base. Altuve has to get it off the wall. Easy double for Aranda. Opposite field double. Runner on second. Leadoff runner. Fastball. Opposite field fastball. King doesn't have a really fast fastball. Low 90s. His best pitches are typically others, so they can punish that fastball occasionally. Junior Caminero comes to the plate. First pitch is in there for strike one. A Swiffer, 78 miles an hour. 0-1. Here comes the next pitch. Just a little inside, 92 miles an hour on that fastball, taken for ball one, maybe 2 or 3 inches inside. 1-1. Runner on second, no outs. Here's the pitch. A few inches outside, another ball on the sinker. 2-1 is the count. Magnum PI looking for the call here. He's got what he wants. Here comes the toss. Fouled off. Strike two. Four-seam fastball. Philip says that Pena will hit a home run tonight. It'd be nice if he had some runners on base when it happened. Timeout taken by Caminero for a moment. Slight delay. The count is even 2-2. Here comes the dozenth pitch from King. This is hit hard to left field. Center. Oh, it's center field. Melton's going to grab it. Aranda easily tags and goes to third. That was really deep. Out number one. Jake Mangum comes to the plate. Or Mangum. Batting righty. King is a left-handed pitcher. Mangum is a switch hitter. Mangum's average with runners in scoring position is really high, but I don't think he's had too many at-bats, so it's not really a fair assessment. And now they decide to bring in a pinch runner now that the runner's on third. Why would you wait so long to bring in a pinch runner? Walls is on at third base. For Aranda. Astros infield is in right now. One away, runner at third. Here's the first pitch from King. Hit right up in the air. It looks playable by Diaz. He's back there and he's got it. How do you like that? Mangum pops up for out number two on the very first pitch. Nice. The Swiffer. Good pitch. He tried to get underneath it. Went straight up. That's what I'm talking about. 2 away. Pinch hitter comes in. They're not going to let Meisner hit. Another meeting on the mound. The pitching coach is going to come out and have a chit-chat with Diaz and King. No, Espada's coming out. It looks like they're going to change King out for a righty. And they are. They're not going to let King pitch to the right-handed batter. Not a bad outing. He does have a runner on third, but he got 2 outs. And Brian Abreu is coming in, so there's your answer. Is Brian Abreu available today? Apparently so. More than likely, they expect him to get this 1 out and then pitch the 8th. That's my guess. Brian Abreu. Now pitching for the Astros. He's going to warm up for a few moments. Phillips says the Astros have no arms in the outfield and catcher. Well, that's not true. They don't have many arms in the outfield, but Cam Smith has an arm. Cam Smith definitely has an arm. Myers is a great outfielder, and even McCormick is a good outfielder, but they don't have arms. DeCinzo, I think his arm is okay. Yeah, I don't think that DeCinzo has a bad arm. Sergio says he's a young gun. Pena's a young gun. We wasted his 2 home run game yesterday, so I don't figure him leaving the ballpark today. Well, he could, but, you never know with Pena. He's got that line drive home run ability. Just rip that ball and just line it into the Crawford boxes or off the wall. He's really good at that. He might, but you never know. Philip says the chopper. The chopper. All right, we are back at the game as the last few warm-up pitches are being taken. By Abreu. He's going to be facing Curtis Mead. Man. Whew. First pitch. Mead loses his bat on the very first pitch. He swings at it, fouls it, and throws his bat. Strike 1. I was trying to deal with this bump on my nose. It's right on the inside, man. Oof. Orbit over there. Wonder what's going on. The bat went over there towards the mascot. That's why he's showing out right now. 0-1 is the count. Here's the next pitch to Mead. Way outside on that slider. Kept sliding. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner on third. Abreu facing Mead. Here's the toss. Hit hard into right field, but it sails into the crowd. A little high, too. Broke that one. So he threw the bat, and now he's broken it. He doesn't have any respect for his tools. He goes all the way down into the dugout to get his bat. Nobody brings it to him. Talk about wasting time and drawing it out. Are you kidding me? How ridiculous is that to delay the game? He walks slowly all the way into the dugout to get a new bat and walks all the way back out. Nobody gives it to him. I think that should be like it should say strike 3 rather. Take too long. Here comes the next pitch. Fouls it back. Count remains 1-2. Abreu, a.k.a. the Chopper. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Oh, did he go? They say he went. Strike 3. He's out in the dirt, and he went. The umpire points at him. He's like, you went, bro. Abreu does it. He gets the K. More than likely, we will see him come back in the 8th inning. Brian King does his part to get the first 2 outs. Abreu gets the last out. And the Astros still up 1-0. So far, Astros relievers are okay. Bottom of the 7th coming up in just a moment. Astros with an opportunity to get some more runs. 18 following the game. I'm up to 22 likes. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. With only 18 viewers right now, I don't expect to get to 30 likes by the end of the game. But, you know, as it gets closer to the end, we might have an increase for people who want to see how the game ends. But these type of games are difficult, though, even if you have the lead, whether you have the lead or not. Because if you go this whole game leading 1-0, and then you give it up at the end, that's like a big disappointment, right? Sergio says, serves him right for walking slowly to retrieve a different bat. That's right. I agree with you 100%. 100%. I agree. The umpire should have called him out anyway, but I like it that the umpire was pointing at him like this. He was like, you went, bro. You went, bro. Strike 3. That was funny. My coffee is not hot at all. It is now 5:09 a.m. here. And I've still got this bump right in the inner edge of my nose. I know you guys don't want to hear about that, but it's bothering me so bad. Some areas of the body are just so highly sensitive, right? Ow. Okay. I think I've solved it for now. Ow. Whew. I'll try not to mention it again. But I did mention to you guys before, some of you might recall, that I do take blood thinners daily. Just recalled that I forgot to take my blood thinner several hours ago before I went to bed. I'll take that now. Last night I went to the local, well, I say the local onsen. It's the closest onsen to my home. It's a 45-minute drive from here. And when I'm there, I take my time. I wash myself really, really well, my entire body. I sit down and I just scrub myself like crazy. Pena's at the plate, by the way. First pitch in there for strike 1. Taj is still on the mound for the Rays. But I have to be very careful when I'm shaving. That one's below the zone. No, I'm sorry, that is not Pena at the plate. It's Cam Smith. Once again, the information on the screen is incorrect. 1-1 is the count, though. That's hit to shortstop. He fires over to first and gets the out. So Cam grounds out to start the bottom of the 7th. 1 away. But anyway, when I go to the onsen, I have to be very careful about shaving. If I nick myself just a little bit, it takes such a long time to stop bleeding. Swing and a miss by Jacob Melton. He is 1 for 2 today. He has an infield single. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the next pitch from Taj. Just a little high. 1-1. Here comes the next pitch. That one was way high. About 1.5 feet out of the zone. Might as well have been 100 feet out of the zone. 2-1. Come on, Melton. How about you be the hero today? Give the Astros a little cushion here, just to get them through the rest of the game. Here comes the 2-1 from Taj. Outside, 3-1. Bounces off the glove of Dice as he tries to frame it. You like Orbit? Okay. Went right in there, 97, fouled away. Taj tried to go after him, full count. Sergio says the umpire dispersed a little justice on that one. Absolutely. It was funny. Funny to watch. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 98 pitches for Taj. Here comes the 99th. Fouled back. That was right in the zone. Good swing by Melton. 98 miles an hour, but he fouled it back. Stays alive. So Taj will get to 100 pitches with this next delivery. Caesar says should be a violation. I agree. Taking that long time, just casually stroll all the way into the dugout and all the way back just doesn't make any sense. Seems disrespectful. Well, there's a strikeout, a swing and a miss on the 100th pitch of the game for Taj Bradley. Full count, strikeout. Splitter below the zone would have been ball 4. 100 pitches. Here comes the 101st pitch to Mauricio Dubon in the top of the zone for strike 1. 91 mile per hour cutter. 0-1 is the count. Astro fans should do the chop when Abreu comes out. Choppers, says Philip. You mean like the Braves chop? Strike 2 to Dubon. 0-2 with 2 outs. Sergio says being a mascot in Houston's climate is really taking one for the team. I agree. I absolutely agree. It's unbelievable. Can't imagine. Here's the 0-2 count. Fouls off. Fouls it off. Count remains 0-2. Sergio says you may have a nasal polyp. It's sometimes I get like these little things on the inside that they are very painful, and then they go away after a little while. Grounded to the second baseman should be an easy play, and it is. That's 3 up and 3 down again. Nothing surprising here. Nothing surprising. 1-0 Astros. This is a 5-hit total game. 3 hits for the Astros, 2 hits for the Rays, 1 error for the Rays. 1-0 Stros going into the top of the 8th inning. What a game, guys. So exciting, huh? Nothing compared to yesterday's game. Nothing compared to yesterday's game. 20 people watching now. Thank you so much for being here. I got 22 likes on the live stream. I guess for this type of game, it's not bad. Philip says, let's go Astros. 100%. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go Stros. I can share with you guys, Sergio, maybe you'll be interested to know this. I know that some of the rest of you will be interested in knowing this. But definitely, Sergio, I think you'll be interested in knowing this. Over the past couple of days, I've been trying to get my new pump set up. My new water well pump. And I was trying to tell you earlier, and I got distracted with the game, of course, but there's a difference between just kind of a regular shallow well pump and a jet well, a jet pump system. A jet pump system has 3 pipes. The regular well just has, I guess you could say, 2 pipes. One pipe goes down into the water in the ground, and that's the suction pipe. It pulls water up, and then there's the outlet pipe that goes to the house, right? That's very simple, and that's the kind of pump that I have right now. But the pump that was there before was a jet pump system, and there are 3 pipes. One pipe is the suction that comes out of the well, and there's another pipe that actually kind of goes down towards the well, and it adds extra pressure because it's a deep well system. So the jet pump adds, as it's pumping, it adds extra pressure to make it easier for the water to come up. And then the third one goes out to the house. So it has 3 different pipes. Abreu is still on the mound, and here's the first pitch. High, ball 1. He is facing Jose Caballero. No, that's actually ball 2. I missed pitch number 1. So it's 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 96 miles an hour in the top of the zone there. 2 balls, 1 strikes to Caballero. Here comes the toss. Another swing and a miss. 97 miles an hour. Abreu cranks it up just a slight bit more. The count is even, 2-2. But the reason I told you all of that, Sergio and the rest of you guys, is because I hooked up my connectors to the wrong pipes yesterday, so I have to redo all of that today. Yay. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Abreu. Caballero goes around and fouls it off. That one was 98. So 3 different fastballs from Abreu, 96, 97, and 98. He keeps cranking it up. Is he going to go up to 99 here? It's getting faster and faster. Let's see. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the toss. It's hit hard to left center field. Melton is over. He grabs it. Out number 1. All right. Next batter for Abreu is Matt Dice. Here's the next pitch. Check swing on the outside. Did he go? No. Ball 1. He's 0 for 5 in his career versus Brian Abreu. Here's the next toss. Low, 98 miles an hour. Almost in the dirt. 2-0. Dice actually has a couple of walks today versus Brown, and now he starts off with 2-0. Are they just not wanting to throw strikes to Dice? Why not? He's only batting .213. Throw him a strike. Weighing outside. Are you kidding me? 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. What an easy day for Matt Dice. All he has to do is just stand there and not swing. My gosh, here's the next pitch. That's in the top of the zone. They call that a ball. Why not? Why not? The ninth hitter, the 9-hole hitter, all he has to do is just stand there and take pitches the whole game. I kid you not. The whole game. Just walk, walk, walk. Hunter Brown walked him every time, and now he's walked again by Abreu. Next batter is the leadoff batter, Josh Lowe. Foul ball, strike 1. 0-1 is the count. Runner on first, no outs. I'm sorry, 1 out. 1 out. My bad. Here's the next pitch. Uh-oh. Paredes might have a double play. He gets it, fires the first. They call him safe at first. That was close. They might want to check that. Might be a double play. I just realized that my scoreboard is not updating. Let me refresh that. It is now correct. At least 1 out on the board. Let's take a look at the replay. Not from that angle. That wide angle, you can't really see what's going on. Line drive to Paredes. He catches it, fires to first. Doesn't quite get there in time. Astros are not going to challenge. Abreu was wanting a challenge, but they did not get it. So, runner remains at first base with 2 outs. Brandon Lau is at the plate. First pitch is on the way. High, ball 1. That was crazy. Sergio says the Hiroshima invitation is intriguing. It's open. It's open to everybody. I've had people come and see me before and help out. So, swing and a miss. Nice slider. Pretty dirty. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pretty dirty. Pretty dirty. Here's the next pitch from Abreu. Oh, did he hold up? No, they say he went around. That's right. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on that nice 88-mile-per-hour slider. There's a little bit of fire on it as it tried to go back to the future. Haven't said that one in a while. David says Mariners Twins tied at 0. Go Twins. Come on, is it Correa? That's what the Twins. Go Correa. Have a big game. Blow it up on the Mariners. Here comes the next pitch. 1-2. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Yanner gets it and tags him out. He is out. Brian Abreu does it. Gets the Astros through the 8th. How do you like that? So the Rays bats are indeed tired, and the relievers for the Astros are getting her did. They're getting her did. Getting her did. Bottom of the 8th coming up for the Astros. 1 runner stranded for the Rays. 2 hits for the Rays, 3 hits for the Stros, 1 error for the Rays. 1-0 the Astros lead this match. A little bit of vitamin C, eh? A 7-Eleven here in Japan just came out. Well, I say they just came out with, but within the past few years, they came out with these line of drinks that don't have any sugar. But right now they have 4 different types. One is kind of a lemon style, this one. And they load it full of some specific vitamins. The main one is vitamin C. Then they have another one that's kind of an orange style drink. And what's special about that one is that it has a lot of fiber. Somehow, I still don't quite understand how a liquid drink has fiber, but okay. And then the third style drink has like, I guess you could say, yogurt style benefits. The word escapes me now. The type of digestive enzymes or something that you would get from yogurt. And then the fourth style doesn't really have any benefit. It's just a 0 sugar cider drink. It's just cider. I don't know why they decided to make a fourth one that's just cider. Oh no, my bad. I think the cider might have electrolytes. Maybe. Edwin Uceta is on the mound for the Rays, so we finally have a pitching change here in the bottom of the 8th. A little low and outside. Jeremy Pena at the plate right now. Here's the next pitch. Pena hits it hard through the hole. Yes, Jeremy Pena with another hit. He rounds first base, but he will be held up there. Nice rip for Pena. Nice rip for Pena. That brings up Isaac Paredes. If you'll notice on your screen, Edwin Uceta looks the same as Taj Bradley. This is tapped to the pitcher. It will move Pena to second. An unintentional hit bunt, swinging bunt for Paredes. But Pena goes to second base on the very first pitch. So one away, Pena on second. Paredes wasn't trying to bunt, but he did. That's the way it goes. Jose Altuve comes up with a runner in scoring position. The Flash is at second, and Superman is at the plate. 0 for 3 today, but he has an opportunity here to give the Astros an insurance run. Come on, big man. First pitch from Uceta is on the way. Whoa, way up and in. Almost took off Altuve's face. Don't mess up those rugged good looks. 1-0. Let's move the Flash around. Here comes the pitch. Altuve bunts it down the third base line, but it's foul. Good idea there. Man, that could have been dangerous. Just a surprise bunt. Could have had runners on the corners. Wow, that was close. Sergio says, what an honor for the Rays' ninth batter to be pitched around all day today. Yes, that's right. Altuve shows bunt again, pulls back. Ball 2. 2-1. Philip says the chopper. Sergio says, way to go, Brian Abreu. Absolutely. Inning 9, not yet. Almost. Altuve. Here's the pitch. Ooh, foul tip into the glove. Strike 2. 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jose. Uceta says, I'm going to strike you out. And Altuve says, no way. I'm Jose. Here's the 2-2. Pena's off to steal. There's a throw. Swing and a miss. He's out. And safe at third. So Altuve strikes out. But Pena gets the steal, so we have our runner on third. The Flash is on third. Unfortunately, out number 2. Pena burning over there. Man, he was way in there. That was nowhere near close. Look at that. He was on that bag. He was halfway across the bag before the tag even got on him. Okay, Christian Walker comes to the plate. 2 outs, runner on third. This is a great opportunity right here. Just gonna need a little tap, tap, tapper. First pitch high and inside. Could have been a strike. Call a ball. Right on that edge. 1-0 to Walker. Drive the Flash in. Here's the pitch. Way outside. 90 miles an hour. 2-0 is the count. I think Uceta is saying something about the pitch com. I'm not sure what he was doing. He was motioning at his hat or something. Oh, no, he wanted to talk to the catcher. Little meeting on the mound real quick. Hey, the Astros fans didn't boo at all right there. I'm proud of you guys. You know what? I'm gonna clap for you guys. Good job. You Astros fans in the stadium at Daikin Park. Good job for not booing that. That's just part of baseball. 2-0 with 2 outs. The Flash, Jeremy Pena at third. Walker at the plate. Bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. 3-0. Walker taking the pitches right now. Yainer Diaz on deck. They might not care too much about walking Walker. Might prefer to pitch to Diaz, but Diaz has been putting some balls out there, so you never know. Here comes the 3-0. Inside. Checked his swing, and he's able to get ball 4. So Walker is going to go to first base. We have runners on the corners with 2 outs. A 4-pitch walk from The pitching coach does come out to have a little chit-chat with Uceta. So I guess that wasn't the plan. The entire infield is in to have a little chit-chat about this. Diaz did have the walk-off home run in Game 2. 2 runners on right now, an opportunity to increase this lead. The count is 0-0. No balls, no strikes to Yiner. Let's see if Yiner can become Shiner one more time in this series. Add a few runs on the board for the Astros. Yiner, get us to the league minimal average runs per game. Come on, let's do it. Here's the first pitch to Yiner. Goes after the first one, foul tips it for strike 1. 89 mile per hour changeup right there. Here comes the pitch. Low and away. Good take. Another changeup. 1-1 is the count. Yeah, acidophilus. That's what I was looking for, Sergio. Thank you. We too high, says Philip. Uh-oh. Hit in there. Oh, no. Oh, noes. Flies out. Yiner flies out to right field. So, the Astros strand 2 more. Looks like Hader is going to be in for the 9th inning, guys, and try to shut down this 1-0 massive Astros lead. If the Astros win 1-0, okay, it's a win. They say a win is a win. They say a win is a win. But if you go back and you look at it, the Astros, the way they've hit and scored runs in this entire series is worse. The anemia is worse than mine. And that's saying something. For those of you who understand hemoglobin levels, when I was checked for my hemoglobin last month, it was 8.5. Supposed to be like double that, basically. I remember when I went into the hospital over a year and a half ago, I could barely get there. I just barely was able to get there. As soon as I walked in the front door at the hospital, I almost fell down. They had to put me into a wheelchair immediately and take me straight to the doctor. And when they checked my hemoglobin, it was down to below 5.5. And that's dangerously close to organ failure, just so you know. If you're wondering what hemoglobin is, you could say in a simple way, it's kind of like it shows the oxygen in your blood. Multiple organ failure. Hader is in the game. Hader's on the bump. 1-0. Big save opportunity here. He's facing Yandy Diaz, the number 3 hitter for the Rays. And Brendan Rodgers is now at second base. Dubon moves to the outfield. I think Jake Myers is in. I think Jake Myers is in center field. Mauricio Dubon in left field. And Brendan Rodgers at second base. Hader is on the mound. Here's the first pitch to Yandy. Right in there on the inside edge. Strike 1. 94 mile per hour sinker. Good start. Let's keep it up. Yandy's 0 for 3 today. How about 0 for 4? How do you like that? Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Up and in. Good sinker. 0-2 is the count. And I'm out of coffee. Man, it is feeling really cold in here right now. Oof. Almost 6 in the morning. I'm really thinking about going to get some breakfast. But it doesn't open until 8. A little low and inside. That was a good take by Yandy. 82-mile-per-hour pitch, just barely missing by a couple of inches. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Hader. Hit in the air, should be playable. Pretty shallow. Myers comes. Oh, no. That's not Myers. Melton's still in the game. I thought they pulled in Myers. I was wrong. Melton makes the play. Charging in. Good job. 1 away. We're 2 outs away with that grab from Melton. Pretty interesting that Melton, the rookie, is still in the game. They kept him in the entire game. They never pulled in Myers, not even for the defense. Pretty interesting. Here's the first pitch to the next batter. Oh, he gets the strike. I thought that was a little low and outside. Walls is at the plate batting. And he's jawing with the umpire. He's giving the umpire the business. I do agree that it was questionable. Oh, well, look at that. The umpire just threw out Walls. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. Look at that. Walls just got ejected from the game, and he's yelling at the umpire. Look at this. How do you like that? He just got tossed. He's really upset. They're having to hold him back. Look at that. Wow, look at that. Walls got so upset about that pitch on the lower outside corner. He's still going back. He's running back like he's going to run at the umpire. He's going to like try to tackle him. Holy cow, why is he so upset? Man, the coach is calmer. The pitching coach is talking with him, but man, Walls just went nuts. Here's the pitch that he's arguing about. Yeah, just a little low and outside, guys. I mean, on that corner. But Walls got so angry about it, he just kept talking and talking and talking to the umpire. Yeah, after that, he taps his helmet, and the umpire took that as an insult. I guess like he was calling him stupid or something. Here it is right here. He adjusts his helmet, and then watch this. And he looks at him. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing there. But the umpire didn't like it. And he says, you know what? You're out of here. And that's when he started freaking out. You're out of here, buddy. So the next batter comes in. He's got the 0-1 count. And swing and a miss. Make that 0-2. Christopher Morel is in Wall's place. The count is 0-2. Here comes the next toss from Hader. Wow. Swing and a miss on the check swing in the dirt. And he went around. That's out number 2. Just like that. He goes down. 2 away. What a strange inning. What a strange inning. Thank you for the highlights, Mr. Walls. Junior Caminero comes to the plate. 0-2 in his career. 0-2 rather, against Hader. Here comes the pitch. 95. Woo! That looked like it could have been in there. It was on that upper inner corner, but called a ball. Here comes the next pitch, the 1-0. Oh, man, that was right exactly where it could have been. Yeah, it was a strike. But because Yiner had to go after it, it was called a ball. It was not where he expected it to be. 2 balls and no strikes to Caminero. Here's the next pitch. Fouled back. 95 miles an hour. 2-1. Maybe the umpire was making up on Walls for that for that non-call when the guy walked to the dugout like he didn't care. Sergio says, to borrow your phrase, these anemic performances won't do come playoff time. You're right about that. They won't. Well, they might do in the AL West to keep first place, but definitely not for the playoffs. See the Tigers series last year. That next pitch is way inside for ball 3. 3-1 to Caminero. Philip says you're winning. Taco Cabana. Taco Cabana. Yeah, Jeremy Pena, Taco Cabana. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul ball at the plate. Full count. 2 outs. Not the bottom. Top of the 9th. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hater facing Caminero at the plate. Sergio says we need the benefit of a lip reader to join our live chats. That'd be funny. Tell us what's being said out there. I could hear a little bit of what he was saying, though, because he was yelling really loud. It was not nice. Here's the pitch. Line drive out to left field. Woo! Just barely foul. Look at that. Caminero playing around with a line drive shot. That one just barely bounced into the crowd. It would have been a line drive shot off the scoreboard had it been fair. But the count remains 3-2. Come on, Hater. Espada hoping that the Astros can hang on to this 1-0 win. Here's the full count pitch again. Strike 3, 96 miles an hour, right in there. Thank you, Josh Heater. The 96 mile an hour sinker right down the middle gets Caminero, and the Astros win this game 1-0. So the way the Astros lose and the way the Astros win is kind of Astros style. They split the series with the Rays. Ironically, the Astros lose 2 games because of pitching and win 2 games because of pitching. Live by the sword, die by the sword. I guess you could say this would be a really good baseball definition of that, right? The pitching saves your butt, and then the pitching costs you your A-double-as. All right, guys. Let's see here. Sergio says I called the Astros 1-0 win. And they got that on an error, too. Or because of an error, rather. Pena got on second base because of an error. And then the hit drove him home. But still. You know what I'm saying. Let's take a quick look at the scoring summary, which is so fast. It's ridiculous. Let's take a look, guys. Real quick, we'll do the summary. I'll let you know about the next game, and then I'll be out of here. All right. In the bottom of the first, Jeremy Pena, hit a grounder to third base. It was mishandled on the backhand by the third baseman, and on a fielding error, Jeremy Pena was able to get to second. Christian Walker singled to left field. Pena scored. That's the only run of the game. 1-0 Astros. For the rest of the game, the Astros would add 4 hits, but they stranded runners on the corners. They stranded runners on first and second. They had opportunities, but as usual, they just stranded them. The Rays didn't have as many opportunities. They only had 2 hits. Hunter Brown had a no-hitter going until the 6th inning, and then he gave up a hit. So he had 1 hit through 6. 5 strikeouts, not as many strikeouts as normal. And he also had 4 walks. So Hunter Brown didn't have a Hunter Brown day, but in the way of hits, he had a phenomenal day. So not highly efficient, but the results are there. When you don't give up any earned runs at all through 6 innings, I'd say that's pretty good. That's a quality start. We'll take it. Taj Bradley had a really good game. The only run was because of an error, really. It wasn't his fault. He pitched 7 innings and gets the loss. Unfortunately for him, he gets the loss. But he only gave up 3 hits, no runs, no earned runs. He had 10 strikeouts and only 2 walks. If you look at the numbers, he actually had a much better game than Brown. If you really look at it, he had fewer pitches. He pitched more innings. He had double the strikeouts. He had half the walks. It's just the unfortunate matter of giving up his defense giving up the error. Hader gets the save. That's 15 for him this season. He had 2 strikeouts in the 9th. Abreu came in the 7th to replace King. King got 2 outs, had a runner on 3rd. Abreu came in, got that out, that last out with a strikeout, and then pitched the 8th. Retired the side, and then Hader shut it down. So Astros win and retain first place for now. What are the Mariners doing right now, by the way? Bottom of the 3rd, 0-0. Still scoreless in that game. Let's take a look at the Astros' next game. I believe we have the Pirates coming up next. We do. We have the day off tomorrow, so there's no game tomorrow, guys. The next game is 2 days from now. McCullers is due on the mound to face Burrows. They're going to be playing at Pittsburgh, so the Astros finally leave home after this long homestand versus Seattle, the A's, and the Rays. The A's and the Rays. 3-game series at Pittsburgh. All 3 of those games I should be calling. They're all at 7:40 in the morning for me, so I'll just be live streaming from about 7:30 a.m. Should be able to do all 3 of those games. It looks like the Astros have games all the way through, let's see, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th. And the 10th, they will be off. So we got about 6 games in a row on the road versus Pittsburgh and Cleveland before the Astros have another break. So I guess I will see you in 2 days against the Pirates. Let's double check the chat one more time. I got to 23 likes. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. Caesar says, see you later, Hater. Sergio says, luckily for us, the Rays are also consistently inconsistent. Yeah, think about it. They went crazy the first game, shut down the second game. Went crazy the 3rd game, shut down the 4th game. It's nuts. I guess the Rays fans could complain also, just like Astros fans. The only difference is that at least in the games that the Rays won, they were hitting the ball like crazy. The Astros just barely squeaked out 2 wins thanks to their pitching. That's the big difference. Sergio says, thanks again, Brandon. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you for your kind messages, your support, your emails. And thank you, everyone, for your live chat messages, for the likes on the live stream. Thank you for subscribing. And that's all for today. I'll see you in a couple of days. I'm going to get back to working on my water pump and try to get that going. And from Japan, all I have to say now, as usual, is Geaux Stros.